Okay, guys, I hope you all can see this one already. I am not quite sure. I don't know if I pressed the stream buttons properly, but wow. All right, we just got some crazy news, and there's no notification, which is a little bit annoying, but I already posted a couple of videos today, so I'm quickly going to post it in the Discord so a couple of people might check it out. If you're watching this after the live stream is busy, I guess, just scroll like 1 minute into the future and put down below what country you're watching from, as I always am just interested in seeing that type of stuff. You know, I'm always, I don't know, amazed by what countries you guys are watching from. It's, in my opinion, pretty damn crazy. But let me quickly tweet it out as well, and we'll just get into the news. People will notice it as we go, I think. So, first of all, Brad Garlinghouse just put up a tweet once more over on Twitter, in which he stated, "Today, a letter was filed on my behalf indicating my intent to file a motion to dismiss in response to the SEC's amended complaint against me. Simply put, the SEC's allegations are regulatory overreach. The letter speaks for itself." And it's a little letter here over on Twitter. And in my opinion, all that they're building right now is getting really freaking interesting, all right? It is getting really pretty damn crazy. I've been here all day right now, just reading through all the stuff that's come out today. Oh my, oh, wow. Like, wow. So the title of the video is Ripple Pilots a Private Ledger for Central Banks, launching CBDCs. Pretty big, yeah, pretty interesting. But then, once I was preparing everything for the video, this just popped up. Brad Garlinghouse just, boom, came in and tweeted. I believe it's like, let's quickly see, a couple minutes ago even. I was preparing this video for like 35 minutes or so. Let me quickly see. Yeah, 20 minutes ago is when he posted that one. And it's basically his side of the story to Judge Torres to basically let the SEC get off his ass, right? Because it's the SEC versus Ripple. This just came out 20 minutes ago. 20 freaking minutes ago. This just came out. Breaking the freaking news, guys. And do you guys want me to read it all the way? It's like 3 pages. So I don't think it's too bad. It's 3 pages, 3.5. Or should it just, because I haven't read it just quite yet. I just saw it while I wanted to talk about the CBDCs. We can read here and take what we think. So I think let's just do that real quick, and then we'll see as we go on. It's a live stream anyway. Dear Judge Torres, on behalf of defendant Brad Garlinghouse, we write pursuant to Section 3 of your Honor's individual practices, setting forth the agreements that Mr. Garlinghouse anticipates raising on a motion to dismiss the SEC's first amended complaint pursuant to Fed. But I'm actually wondering, was this posted just now or a couple days ago? Now, so this is actually coming from right now. Yeah, it's the 3rd of March still. Document 49, page 1 out of 5. Because I'm kind of questioning right now. We had a letter from Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson to the SEC before with the motion to dismiss, but that's already like a week and a half ago. So is this now a new one or like the letter itself? I'm not too sure. Once more, we'll see. Let's just go on for a little second. And by the way, thank you all for scrolling on in. Welcome, welcome. I see we already have 15 likes. That's still pretty cool, though. We didn't have a notification, so I appreciate all of that. Thank you all for pressing the like button already and just joining here. It's already amazing. This case represents regulatory overreach, plain and simple. On December 22nd, the SEC brought this suit alleging that Mr. Garlinghouse engaged in a scheme with Ripple Labs Inc. that allegedly had been taking place right under the SEC's nose since at least 2013 to continuously and unlawfully sell XRP, which transactions the SEC alleges should have been registered as securities all along under sections 5A and C of Securities Act AC1. The linchpin of the SEC's case is its recent revelation that defendants' transactions in XRP, a digital asset. I'm also questioning here. So they are using transactions in XRP, a digital asset, used to make faster, cheaper, and more efficient payments and money transfers. So, I don't know if you guys watched the previous videos, but I'm wondering, what was Ripple's way of pointing these things out? Did Ripple say digital assets, or was it the SEC? Because they were both using different words for it, and I'm not sure what those words were now that I'm watching it. Do you guys know, the ones watching? Which which wording that Ripple used for it and which ones the SEC used. And I also think I have to change the title a little bit. Maybe Ripple CEO. What should I do for the title? Ripple CEO files new. Let's go for something else, all right? Let's go breaking news. Ripple CEO files new motion to dismiss and new private Cbdc, new private Ripple. I have to think of some title. This is difficult. Cbdc. What's the word now? Let's go for private ledger. New private ledger. New private Ripple ledger. Cbdc. Question mark, explanation mark. So let's go for that so people will know exactly what it is about. All right, so we're good. All right, so GMO says digital asset / cryptocurrency, but which one of the two used what? And put down below right now what country you're watching from. For me, right now it is, it's actually 10 p.m. only, 10:42. I thought it would be way later. Normally it's always like 4 a.m. when we do this type of stuff. All right, so a digital asset used to make faster, cheaper, and more efficient payments and money transfers are and always have been a type of security called an investment contract. Despite the contrary understanding of the XRP market for more than 8 years, the SEC's allegations fail for a number of reasons. First, the SEC fails to recognize the economic realities of defendants' transactions in XRP, the XRP market, and Ripple's business, each of which exhibit none of the traditional characteristics of an investment contract under the SEC v. Howey case, because there it requires the SEC to show, among other things, that defendants agreed with XRP purchasers to form a common enterprise that was dependent upon Ripple's managerial efforts for profit. But Mr. Garlinghouse's XRP sales involved no contract of any kind with the buyers, as his sales were done anonymously over an exchange. Nor were the proceeds of Mr. Garlinghouse's sales pooled with other buyers in a common enterprise, and XRP's value historically has not been correlated with Ripple's actions, results, or public announcements. That is interesting. But instead with changes in the value of other digital assets such as Bitcoin and Ether that the SEC has publicly declared are not securities. So, okay, that is juicy. So we got two things, right? One here is, one here is that Brett Garlinghouse definitely did sell XRP on exchanges anonymously. So he basically dumped on us. That's a little bit of a letdown. The second one is Ripple is basically stating here that the XRP price did not ever move by what Ripple is doing. So they're basically, again, I'm always being honest with you guys, right? We're just covering the news as we see here, as we find it. They're saying the XRP price only is moving because of Bitcoin and Ethereum, basically. Those other cryptos. Ripple's actions, results, or announcements haven't done anything for the price. Okay, that is interesting. Okay, let's go on for a little while. That's interesting. Moreover, in 2015 and again in 2020, the Department of Justice and the Department of Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement, FinCEN, found XRP to be a virtual currency, requiring Ripple to implement AML controls generally not applicable to security transactions, which it did and continues to do so. So, again, another very important point in my opinion. The SEC has said that any, I don't know how you call it, any department in the US can actually have a different way of classifying something. For example, FinCEN can call it a currency, the SEC can call it a security, and the IRS can call it a commodity, which in my opinion is pretty dumb, but hey, that's the US in some strange way, shape, or form. However, this is more interesting where even in 2020, FinCEN has actually called XRP a currency. I did not even know that. And also, yeah, to kind of think that FinCEN then took a look at XRP and is like, yeah, this is a currency, so you have to provide some AML, I guess anti-money laundering, I don't know, rules, controls, whatever you want to place there in terms of wording. But then the SEC is like, well, you did all of that, wasn't necessary from us, but from FinCEN because they consider you a currency, but we consider you a security. So we don't think you need to do that, but you do need to. It doesn't make any freaking sense how that one works. Let's move on. Second, not satisfied, Simply to try simply try to fit the square peg of XRP into the round hole of the security laws. The SEC has also chosen to target Mr. Garlinghouse with personally violating the security laws, both by selling his own XRP and by allegedly aiding and abetting Ripple sales, straining to impose personal liability on an executive like Mr. Garlinghouse for simply doing his job where he reasonably understood that his actions complied with the law with the law represents an abuse of prosecutorial discretion that has sent a dangerous signal to entrepreneurs and will chill innovation. So what I'm kind of getting from this one is they really targeted Brad Garlinghouse personally, and yes, Geometric, I'm here, which, is also once more a little bit strange. That's just a cologne. Somebody says, who else could I be then? That's also a little bit odd. I'm just looking at this. I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense how the SEC is seeing this and what they're doing. So they're literally deliberately going after Mr. Garlinghouse, Brad Garlinghouse, purely with the idea that if they do this, it will really get a lot more investors scared, right? Because why else would they do it this way? They're alleging him for two things: selling it and also helping Ripple sell it, which is basically, in my opinion, the same thing. Because if he sold it himself and he's a big part of Ripple, and they sold it too, it's kind of the same thing. But I guess, yeah, from my perspective, the whole personal sale thing should just maybe be a finable offense. At the worst case, I just personally think there's really nothing bad about it though, because even if you consider XRP to be a security, him selling it, I mean, he's just a person, right? And yeah, you might say, oh, Dusty, but he is he's the CEO of Ripple, yada yada. Well, yeah, but if it doesn't make it a bad thing for us to sell, since we all believe it's a decentralized thing, if it's not a bad thing for us to sell, then why would it be for him? Just because he's the head of something? Well, but he could have bought it as a normal human being too. It doesn't mean that he was given it. If it was given to him and he sold it though, and the SEC thinks that's bad because, well, they're dropping it on all of us, okay, give him a fine for that, whatever. But I'm not sure. I'm just thinking here as we we read. Let's see. Effectively conceding the deficiencies in its original complaint, the SEC elected to amend on February 18, 2021. We talked about this. They most likely did this because they were already afraid of a motion to dismiss, which was still filed a little bit later, after Mr. Garlinghouse pointed out various defects in the pleadings, which were mostly that there were no facts being used. At least that is what the, what is his name now? The XRP type of lawyer guy was saying before, and I also do stand by it. These were the exact same defects, among others, Mr. Garlinghouse had already pointed out during the investigative process. The SEC's amended complaint fares no better. The SEC has not adequately alleged that Mr. Garlinghouse knew or recklessly disregarded that defendants' transactions in XRP were investment contracts, or that Ripple was somehow acting improperly in selling XRP such that he can be liable for aiding and abetting Ripple sales. Two things it says right here too. One, this is most likely why Ripple is actually going on with their way of doing things as before. So what laptop going to die, please reply. Is it risky to keep, okay. He says, is it risky to keep XRP on exchange, or should we use a nano S ledger? Brother, if you really are wondering what the most safe thing is, if you want to be your own bank and you think that you can keep your money the safest, then, take it out and leave it on your own. If you think that, you're not going to keep good care of your money on your own and you want somebody else to do it, well, that's your answer, right? So what else can I say? But all right, let's move on. There's two things in my opinion which are said right here. One, this is most likely why Ripple has actually gone through with all their operations exactly like they're doing it now, at least, right? Doesn't that sound kind of logical? That because if they were to change anything at all, it would have most likely been kind of an admission, or is that the thing? They would have admitted it, that they were doing something kind of strange. And the second one, I think, is that in the documents between the SEC and Ripple, I don't think anything was actually then discussed about XRP potentially being a security. Otherwise, this whole line here couldn't have been in there, because they're saying Mr. Garlinghouse knew or recklessly disregarded the defendant's transactions in XRP, that they were investment contracts, blah, blah, blah. But then that would mean that the SEC had warned them of the fact that they weren't investment contracts, or that Mr. Garlinghouse already knew it whilst making this or something like that, which I think is pretty strange. I mean, if he knew it, then why would he do it unless he was trying to scam people, which basically is what the SEC is trying to, kind of point out here. And yes, guys, this is from today. This was just posted by Brad Garlinghouse 30 minutes ago now. We've been streaming for 15. And yeah, you can see the date here, March 3rd. This was just put up. Let's see. Where were we now? So, disregarded the defendant's transaction XP were investment contracts, or that Ripple was somehow acting improperly in selling XRP such that he can be liable for aiding and abetting Ripple sales. Nor, under Supreme Court and Second Circuit precedent, can the SEC establish that Mr. Garlinghouse's sales and offers of XRP fall within the territorial scope of the Securities Act. The amended complaint fails to adequately allege... this word, I messed around with this so long. Scienter. I saw the Hogan and Hogan guy talk... Scienter. Let's go for Scienter, all right? If it's wrong, correct me, whatever. A necessary element of the aiding and abetting claim. And what I believe Scienter really used to be, or what was explained to me, was this is basically a way that they go after the founders of a project to get the project a better deal. Let me quickly type in here, Scienter, just to make sure I'm not explaining it like a foolish guy. It says here, the fact of an act having been done knowingly, especially as grounds for civil damages. Okay, that's Scienter liability. Scienter is a legal term for intent or knowledge of wrongdoing. An offending party then has knowledge of the wrongness of an act or event prior to committing it. So that's basically the last part of this, right? That he's doing this with intent. Yeah. So the amended complaint fails to adequately allege Scienter, which basically once more means that the complaint, which the SEC had at first, didn't have really any facts, didn't really have any bearing. The second one, the amended complaint, still didn't really have any facts in that sense. So it still didn't really show why Brad Garlinghouse knew what he was doing, that he knew what he was doing was wrong. A necessary element of the aiding and abetting claim. So they are claiming aiding and abetting, which is basically that Brad Garlinghouse was selling and helping Ripple sell, but they're failing to really provide any evidence for it, or at least show that he really did, that he did the Scienter part. The amended complaint purports to allege that Mr. Garlinghouse aided. By the way, I'm not a lawyer, all right? Just so you know, I'm not a lawyer, not a financial advisor, nothing like that. I just saw this. I wanted to quickly go over it and kind of figure it out with you guys. I'm indeed going to wait as well for the other lawyer guy to just post his whole overview of what he thinks about it. It's just because I saw that it was just posted like 10 minutes ago, and I wanted to make the video actually about this thing right here. I was like, hey, let me also cover this one. And now that we saw it and I didn't read it yet, I was like, hey, let's read it live. And Irish says, Dusty, is this motion... dismiss motion just for him alone or for the whole Ripple lawsuit? I believe it's just for Brad Garlinghouse, because he says, today a letter was filed on my behalf indicating my intent to file a motion to dismiss in response to the SEC's amended complaint against me. Simply put, the SEC's allegation and regulatory overreach. The letter speaks for itself. All right, let's see where we were at. The amended complaint purports to allege that Mr. Garlinghouse aided and abetted Ripple's unregistered sales of XRP, while violations of Section 5 do not require a showing of Scienter aiding and abetting does. Okay, so the Scienter itself does not require a showing of it, or while violations of Section 5 do not require a showing of Scienter, so that's for Section 5, do not require showing, aiding and abetting, so helping, and it really does. Okay. Then that's the example for it, where they're taking it out of, kind of a previous case, basically. The SEC has the burden to demonstrate that Mr. Garlinghouse either knew or recklessly disregarded that he was associating himself with something improper and nonetheless substantially assisted Ripple in committing that violation. See SEC versus Espuelas, we could, but no, let's not do that right now. Requiring the SEC to show that defendant knew or recklessly disregarded the underlying activity was improper to prove aiding and abetting a non-Scienter violation. Okay, so the basic point of this one, it's all pretty obvious in this one still, though. It's just Ripple claims here, or Brad Garlinghouse at least, claims that he never really, at least the SEC is not proving that he did any of this stuff. They're not really, in their complaint, even the amended complaint, they're not showing anything. After a 30-month investigation, and after 30 months? Really? They've investigated them for 30 months right now? Damn. Okay, I didn't know that. 30 months, 2.5 years. And after the production of more than 200,000 pages from defendants and third parties, The best that the SEC can do is allege that Mr. Garlinghouse was generally aware of the risk that some digital assets could possibly be deemed securities, but that he worked hard to ensure that XRP did not even appear to have one of those features. For example, the SEC alleges that Mr. Garlinghouse participated in discussions about messaging around XRP to make sure the verbiage doesn't put us at risk of XRP sounding like a security. Ooh, okay. That's also interesting. That's also very interesting. So what they're saying here, ooh, okay. Wow. So, wow. I'm a little bit amazed by all the info. Like, you look into XRP for years now, and a one little small filing here, a 3-page thing, can teach you more about, the whole situation than hundreds of hours of watching news can sometimes, huh? So after 30 months of investigation, the best they can basically do is just say that Mr. Garlinghouse should have known that some cryptos could have been deemed as securities and thus not involve himself with them, right? That's basically what they're saying right there. And that basically Mr. Garlinghouse wanted to hide all this type of stuff and to make it's, I'm not sure if this part is really true, where Brad Garlinghouse discussed or was messaging about hiding XRP that to sound like a security or what? Because I can see two types of scenarios here. One, that basically Brad Garlinghouse and whatever the guys over at Ripple were thinking, like, okay, what we're doing right now, it's all great, but some guys are going to be thinking it's security, so let's make it as, not that way, basically. Let's change it so people don't really mistake this. This is, for example, the case where Ripple changed the XRP name from Ripple's or, to XRP, which, by the way, XRP, in my opinion, still stands for X, which is the same in XBT, which stands for X Bitcoin. The X being kind of the no country currency, and the RP and XRP standing for Ripple, or Ripples, potentially. So XRP is the same thing as XBT, what the official name is for Bitcoin. You guys also think so? Let's go on. Doesn't put us at risk of XRP sounding like security, that Mr. Garlinghouse demonstrated a keen interest in the regulatory status of digital assets, and that Mr. Garlinghouse liaised with various exchanges who sought comfort that XRP was not a security as a condition of listing. This most likely has to do with the whole Coinbase ordeal, right? Or some of those exchanges that they were just telling them that it's not a security, right? That they were like, that Coinbase was, for example, asking, hey, if it's a security, we won't list you. And like, well, it's not a security or something along those lines. Or maybe, I think that's something along those lines just. These allegations, which only show the efforts of a prudent executive trying to get it right, do not cut it. The SEC fails to adequately allege negligence, let alone the far more onerous knowledge or recklessness standard, alleging that Mr. Garlinghouse was aware of the mere risks that a transaction in XRP might be classified as a security. AC 420 is a far cry from plausibly alleging that Mr. Garlinghouse knew or recklessly disregarded that defendants' transactions in XRP were securities. This is actually standing for amended complaint, footnote 420. So if we, for example, were to actually go to the amended complaint, we could actually take a look at all the specific points that the SEC brought up and exactly what Brad Garlinghouse's lawyers' responses to them, which is what these things stand for. Amended complaint 420. If I'm wrong, once more, put it down there, roast the crap out of me, because I am not a lawyer. All right? I don't know. I'm just reading it with you guys. But it's a far cry from saying he did that. That sounds logical to me, because they're basically just saying, yeah, he could have, maybe should have known maybe that it could have been a thing. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any freaking sense. C.E.G. Farmer versus Brennan. This is another case defining recklessness as action entailing an unjustifiably high risk of harm that is either known or so obvious that it should have been known. Yeah, but then it comes to the question, is with crypto, is this stuff like oh, you should have known, or is it just because it's new technology, newer stuff? I mean, yeah, it's nothing of the sort, right? There's nothing really comparable, in my opinion. Okay, let's move on. The SEC has suggested that it would be sufficient to show merely that Mr. Garlinghouse knew that Ripple's offers and sales of XRP were not registered with the SEC. Well, of course, they shouldn't be registered if they're not officially securities. But this theory fails to distinguish between sustainability or substantiality, assisting legal conduct as opposed to improper conduct, and would essentially transform aiding and abetting into a strict liability offense. CEG Espuelas 905 F sub, whatever, even where the underlying violation does not require Scienter. In order to establish aiding and abetting, the SEC must show that defendants knew or recklessly disregarded that the underlying activity was improper. All right. But it is worse than simply a pleading failure. The SEC's own allegations demonstrate that, like the market more broadly, Mr. Garlinghouse was in Okay, here comes the fact that I am not a native English speaker, again, to fact anymore. I have to read now the freaking complaint, which is in difficult English. That's the easiest way I can put it. Inundated. I have no idea what that word means. You don't see that too often. Inundated. Let me quickly see. It means overwhelm someone with things or people to be dealt with or flood. Okay, let's go for overwhelm then. All right, so let's go on. But it's worse than pleading failure. The SEC's own allegations demonstrate that, like the market more broadly, Mr. Garlinghouse was inundated with evidence that defendants' transactions in XRP were not investment contracts, undermining any suggestion that he understood that he was associating himself with something improper. Right when Mr. Garlinghouse joined Ripple as COO in 2015, the company finalized a public enforcement settlement with the Department of Justice and FinCEN on the basis that XRP was a virtual currency, in which the company agreed to undertake remedial steps applicable to currency transactions and inapplicable to security transactions. This one, I think this line is going to be very important. All right, so what this once more shows is Brett Garlinghouse actually joined Ripple at the time when they, for example, just got this verdict basically from FinCEN, which distinguished XRP as a virtual currency, where again, they didn't have to register with the SEC because, well, if they call you to be a currency, you don't really think so, right? And maybe they should have known that FinCEN can rate it one way and another party can rate it another way. I'm not sure how that works in the US, no freaking clue. But in my opinion, it sounds kind of logical. If you join as COO there, and this is the first thing you're kind of that's thrown on your plate, like, hey, we consider XRP to be a currency by FinCEN. So go through with your AML procedures and make sure we get all the information. Yeah, it's not really that strange though then that he didn't know, right? I think that's a very important line eventually. Yeah, I think so. Likewise, the SEC alleges that XRP was listed on digital asset trading platforms, some of which have their principal place of business in the US, and none of which are registered with the SEC. What? That we'll get back to that one in just a second, I guess. What? None? So, are none of the crypto exchanges where XRP is on registered with the SEC? None of them? Okay. I don't know how that one works. I'm going to skip it, I guess. The AC amended complaint does not allege that the third parties believed that defendants' transactions in XRP were securities and, consequently, that they were violating the law, and there is no reason to believe that they did or they were. Now, however, the SEC has determined that in the face of government action and market consensus, Mr. Garlinghouse should have literally reached a different conclusion that defendants' transactions in XRP always were investment contracts, and that it was at least reckless for him to do not so, basically. Okay, that's also strange, guys. What is going on? That is also odd. What is this whole document, the way they built it, it really makes me feel like the SEC is just messing around here. It's a little bit like the guy said before. It kind of feels as if the SEC just try to do this for the sake of trying, right? Where they're like, okay, so the Ripple verdict or the Ripple lawsuit on its own, they have some points to stand on, right? They have a couple of points where they can basically at least put some fear into their asses. But in this case here, the way it sounds is like the SEC is just trying to reach for something which doesn't really sound logical. And it's also something that they actually addressed here at the top. It was really, for some degree, just done to put up some dangerous signal. What do you guys think about that one? I really, I think about this one. It's interesting, but it's so strange the way they put everything. It's like they have no basis on this. They're just claiming it like, oh, Brett Garlinghouse, yeah, you should have known. We didn't tell you, but you should have known. Even though everything was looking the other way, you should have known. But under these circumstances where Mr. Garlinghouse's understanding that defendant's transactions in XRP were not investment contracts was reasonable based on all available facts and were the applicability of the security laws to XRP clearly, quote, allows XRP, start quote, allows for more than one reasonable interpretation, end quote, begin quote, it would defy history and current thinking to treat a defendant who merely adopts one such interpretation as knowing or reckless violator, end quote. That's actually, again, they're quoting another lawsuit here because I believe, again, my personal way of believing this one is they are basically, they're basically ones who are alleging that he should have known, and Ripple's just responding saying, well, if all the evidence is showing that he shouldn't have known, then again, this makes no sense, so that's again why they want to throw it out. To sum up, what is fatal to the SEC's aiding and abetting claim is the lack of any plausible allegations that Mr. Garlinghouse's state of mind ever crossed over from general awareness of the risk inherent in the digital currency space, that a digital asset could be classified as a security if certain criteria were met, to knowledge or recklessness that defendants' transactions in XRP specifically were or are investment contracts, or that Ripple was somehow doing something wrong. Without this, the SEC's aiding and abetting claim must be dismissed. Sounds reasonable to me. Sounds very reasonable. However, I don't know, but it sounds reasonable enough. And then 2, the amended complaint fails to allege that Mr. Garlinghouse's sales and offers of XRP fall within the territorial scope of the Securities Act. So this one once more comes in. This is again mostly, I believe, talking about the fact that if you're selling something and it's not on U.S. ground, things are a little bit different, right? So the SEC in their complaint alleged that everything was going on within the U.S. And when I was talking to one of my advisors, basically, one of them told me that you can always make up an argument like this because you can always basically question where something took place. And you can come to a verdict, and you will, but you can always allege that something which is decentralized, or even the thing, for example, if you have a website and it's being hosted, right? Yeah, your website is being hosted potentially in, for example, pick a country, Zimbabwe. Did the transaction take place in the country of origin, in the country who is receiving it, or the place of hosting? Or basically, if you're interacting with a website, is it done from your place, basically where you do it, the people who own the company, and blah, blah, blah. So one of the verdicts which a lot of guys go for is, well, everything that matters is the place where the company is based in, or where the servers are, for example, or in this case, where Ripple is centered. Or if you were to take it from a different approach, which is what they're basically doing, in my opinion, is they're taking it from the perspective of, well, since this is a decentralized asset, it's all over the world. So there's no one place, there's no one territory which has jurisdiction over it. It's a difficult one, though, because there's multiple views which, in my opinion, are correct. By the way, if you're watching this far, if you press the like button, I do think it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Just quickly plug in it. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm just saying you can. And also, we're doing a cool giveaway at 80,000 subs, so make sure you are subscribed. Even if defendants' transactions in XRP were investment contracts, which they are not, according to us, the SEC's allegations regarding Mr. Garlinghouse's personal offers and sales of XRP likewise still fail to plead relevant transactions by Mr. Garlinghouse in the United States. Ooh, okay, there we go. This is a critical failure. The registration requirements of Section 5 of the Securities Act apply only to offers and sales of securities in the United States and do not reach offers and sales made on foreign exchanges. Yeah, this is getting a little bit difficult, huh? This is getting very difficult now, because that's one point I'm not sure if I can agree with or, no, in that sense. I'm not sure on that one. Like I just told you guys, my advisor personally said there's always a debate which you can bring up between where the jurisdiction basically lies. And I'm also going to say here that I can't even tell you guys what I think is truthful just because I'm not knowledgeable enough on that department. Because this is just a very big debacle. I can understand. Taste of Lecture says, thumbs down for your lack of not understanding advanced English. I'm sorry, brother. I try my best. My bad. I'm trying it. And by the way, I see a couple of guys in the comment section saying, what about who joined the Deaton lawsuit? If you were interested in joining that class action lawsuit against the SEC, just head over to Twitter, and I'm not sure if I actually have it on my Twitter. Let's quickly see. Otherwise, just go over to Twitter and type in John Deaton, I believe. Otherwise, I might have it somewhere here. I might have retweeted it to make it easy for you guys, but I'm also pretty stupid, so I might have not done that. Yeah, I'm seeing it very negatively here because it's not. It should have been there. So just type in John Deaton, John E. Deaton, I believe, and you'll find it. I'll type it here on the side to quickly see what his name is exactly. I believe it's John Deaton. Oh, Deaton. John E. Deaton. There we go. All right. So this is the exact guy. I'll give him a quick follow as well. And yeah, let me just quickly retweet this. So if you go over to my Twitter, you'll find it. And just check through here. And I think eventually you'll find out how to join the class action lawsuit if that is something that you are interested in. So again, just go check out my Twitter and you will find it. Let's move on with the lawsuit. Okay, so we're talking about the fact that it's almost impossible for the SEC to prove that all of this stuff actually happened within U.S. soil, basically. And let's move on then. This is critical failure. The registration requirements of Section 5 of the Securities Act apply only to offers and sales of securities in the U.S. and do not reach offers and sales made on foreign exchanges. Congress lacks the power to regulate foreign exchange securities is a quote from a different lawsuit. See also SEC v. BioDev Corp. Applying Morrison to Section 5 claim. Okay. Tellingly, the SEC knows the details of Mr. Garlinghouse's XRP transactions perfectly well, and yet nowhere in its 79-page amended complaint did it allege the particulars of even a single offer or sale of XRP by Mr. Garlinghouse in the United States. Instead, the SEC alleges merely that Mr. Garlinghouse has sold over $357 million of his XRP for approximately $159 million. In my opinion, this is still not a really nice thing, though, because they basically are confirming that Brett Garlinghouse has sold 357 million XRP of his on our heads. I'm not gonna lie, whatever way you view this, that's not a real nice thing. Pretty douchey move. Regardless of what he's doing it for, I don't know. But I'm not sure if we can sugarcoat that one. That's not too nice. Okay, so he sold $160 million worth of XRP over time, amended complaint point 183, and that these transactions occurred on various digital assets trading platforms, including platforms that were incorporated in the United States, 2 of them, and one with its principal business place in New York. These vague allegations seek to obscure what the SEC knows but merely hints at with the passing reference to Mr. Garlinghouse's worldwide, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, worldwide sales. The truth is that the vast majority of Mr. Garlinghouse's XRP sales were made on foreign exchanges, and those transactions do not and cannot violate the federal security laws. Obviously, if it doesn't happen in the U.S., it's not their soil, it's not their jurisdiction. That's logical, okay? Because the SEC has not identified the offers or sales, if any, that it contends were concluded in the United States and that therefore violated Section 5, it fails to state a claim, and that is basically that. Okay, so with this one, let me kind of explain my perception of what is said right here. What I'm seeing is, so Brett Garlinghouse has sold about 350 million XRP on a lot of different exchanges, 2 of which were in the US. Now, the SEC has only stated that he has sold on various digital asset trading platforms. They haven't really stated exactly which ones and why and whatnot. They didn't really state too much of it. They just gave some vague allegations and left it at that. So I believe that what they're kind of putting up here is the amount of XRP should have, for example, been lower, because whatever they're referring to here is talking about all sales, not only the ones on US soil. So the majority of all of this, they don't even have control over. So why state it anywhere? Like, why put this up? It is not relevant for the whole case because it's not on US soil. So it doesn't have anything to do with them. By the way, thank you, Larry Las Vegas, for the $5 with the thumbs up. Hey, Dusty. Hey, man, what's up? The SEC cannot save its pleadings by arguing that Mr. Garlinghouse's offers or sales are domestic simply because they're either he or XRP purchasers, the location and identity of which Mr. Garlinghouse was unaware, obviously, may have been physically present in the United States at the time of these transactions. See amended complaint point 185 and 187. If we had all the time in the world, I would just go over all these points and just quickly take a look at them, but then we'd be sitting here for like 6 hours, which is not my plan. Second Circuit precedent is clear that a person does not violate the security laws by engaging in a transaction. This, by the way, almost at the end. I messed up right now because I scrolled. on a foreign securities exchange merely by being present in the United States at the time. That's again a very good example here. Pontiac policeman and fireman's ret. That's again the lawsuit. Just check it out if you want to. I'm not interested. Finding it insufficient to allege that a U.S. entity placed a buy order of a foreign security in the United States that was then executed on a foreign exchange. The Morrison analysis turns on where security offerings and sales take place, determined by where they become irrevocable, not where the principles of those transactions reside. Absolute Activist Value Master Fund, Ltd. v. Ficeto. A purchaser's residency does not affect where the transaction occurs. For the foregoing reasons, the SEC has failed to allege that Mr. Garlinghouse's sales and offers of XRP fall within the territorial scope of the federal security laws, and really, in the end of things, because that is the end of the lawsuit, with just a little, I don't know how you say it in English, and that's just crumble. How do you say this thing? Hand signing. Freaking hell, man! If you're live streaming, sometimes these words, hunt taken in English. Signature. There we freaking go, man. I was losing the word. All right, so with a little signature at the bottom. Yeah, I messed up for a little. I forgot the word. No problem. You don't have to. You don't have to all go. You typed it 5 times. I get it now. I get it, guys. It's okay. So, yeah. In the end of things, what basically happened is they're filing another motion to dismiss on one good basis, I believe. Second one is kind of debatable. In my opinion, as a person, just watching like you guys, I'm not a lawyer, not affiliated with U.S. law in any way, shape, or form, not good with that. Viewing this, I believe the point one, basically, the whole point one here, very solid, right? They basically explain that they didn't really give any good explanation as to why Brett Garlinghouse was doing all of this with the intent and with the knowledge that what he was doing was wrong. The second part is, in my opinion, more debatable, where they're basically alleging that this is from within the U.S. From within the U.S.SEC. They're alleging that Brett Garlinghouse did all of this on U.S. soil, or that they have jurisdiction over it because he sold stuff. And Ripple replies saying, "Well, you don't really have jurisdiction over most of this because I believe all of that stuff is not out inside the U.S. At least most of it." My opinion, as I said before, number 1 is great. Number 2, mediocre, but that may be because I'm not understanding it fully. I just had my personal talk with the advisor, and he told me that you can always debate about this one, which might work in the good side for Ripple, might work in the bad side, because I do believe, looking at all the quotes already, that the SEC has dealt with more of these cases before, but they have just never looked at a case specifically with digital assets like this where the whole ledger is decentralized. So then things become a little bit more questionable, because even with a hosting platform like that, you might not know exactly where it's being hosted. You can always kind of find out a core, and there's basically always kind of 3 endpoints. In this case here, there's 2 endpoints, and no, there's basically maybe even 5 if you want to see it from a different perspective. So you have, for example, what could have happened is you have the purchaser, which is Brett Garlinghouse, and the salesperson, right? The person selling it, the seller, whatever, which could reside in the U.S., could not. We don't know. Then you have the transfer, which is something decentralized, basically. Could have been that this was all validated in one country, but it could have been in all the countries because it is a decentralized thing. Then the money could have been sent to a decentralized exchange, which makes it kind of a double layer of decentralization, which then again also is not the same as a hosting example, because now it's really a decentralized thing. And that also means that, well, literally the only 2 points here which they could have taken is either the purchaser, which is Brett Garlinghouse. Oh, sorry guys, which is the I guess just a random guy purchasing it, and the seller, which is Brett Garlinghouse. But since you don't know who bought it, you only have Brett Garlinghouse left, right? So all they can say is basically, well, since Mr. Garlinghouse lives in the United States and he's sold from there, that's the country they're going to take, which is why they have the jurisdiction over it. It's interesting in my opinion. All right, so I'm seeing quickly what you guys are saying. Dave Matthews says, if they decide to use a private ledger, then our ledger and our XRP is messed. So it actually is not completely true, dependable on exactly what this is about. So I haven't read it fully too as well. Ripple pilots a private ledger for central banks launching CBDCs. That's the one I wanted to talk about. That's the one I was trying to make the live stream all about. But then all this news about Brett Garlinghouse just popped up. It was like 7 minutes ago before I started to stream. So I was like, let me quickly set everything up. Let me start streaming and then get into it. XRP Crypto says the SEC case against Ripple in regards to XRP is weak overall. I agree with that, not gonna lie. I do agree with that. But let's quickly read through this because I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing either. Ripple is piloting a private version of the public open source XRP ledger that provides central banks a secure, controlled, and flexible solution for the issuance and management of digital currencies. You know why I'm actually not thinking it's a really bad thing? That is mostly because I kind of feel as if they're doing this to kind of get the SEC off their back. Because the first XRP ledger, the normal one, is decentralized, it is public, everything is open. And then what they're building right now is for the central banks. It's for those guys. It is private. So it's a different thing. I'm also, I guess I can agree with a couple of you guys saying this is not really a good thing for us. I mean, because it has nothing to do with XRP ledger then in a positive say, because it's a private ledger, right? So it's not something open. It does, however, show that they do believe that the XRP normal ledger is completely open, which I guess is nice. With over 80% of central banks actively exploring some form of sovereign-backed crypto, the arrival of the world's first central bank digital currency is inevitable. Each new Cbdc will have unique goals driven by the specific market challenges and opportunities of its country, unavoidably leading to different technologies and implementations, leaving the world with an array of Cbdc solutions. Obviously, okay. And then Cbdc challenges. This is the most like cliche thing ever. Okay, but all right. Cbdc challenges, distributed ledger technology will be the basis for most CbdCs, just as if it is for today's cryptocurrencies. While central banks can... Oh, wait, my MacBook is almost falling out. No. Oh, no. I have to put the charger. You can still hear me, right? Let me quickly see if everything is still recording, because we had 1% left. Still streaming? I think so. Oh no, we got 2% now. We good, guys. We good. Ooh, that was a little bit scary. All right. DLT will be the basis for most CbdCs, just as it is today for today's crypto. Yeah, that's logical. While central banks can tap into existing blockchains to get CbdCs up and running quickly, most ledgers are not built for payments and cannot handle the volume of transactions that a successful retail CbdC will require. I get that, yet I don't agree with this one. So we all said XRP should have this potential, right, to do this. But Ripple as well has acknowledged that Ripple does not have that XRP ledger, the normal one, does not have the requirements for successful retail CbdCs. So there's a lack or a lacking somewhere in the TPS department, I'm assuming, or functionality, or the fact that since CbdCs are legal tender, the ledger should be private. Hear me out on this one. If you guys don't know how a normal ledger kind of is looking like, with a bank, for example, the way you should see this ledger and this private stuff, I think it might be difficult for some people to understand what exactly this means. With banks, usually, the way they have it is, well, they store your payment amount, they store your the money that's in your bank account, they store everything, all these pieces of information on a computer, right? Or let's say a bunch of computers in their office or a bunch of computers in their network. And the difference between a private ledger like that, which is private, is just held by them, it's controlled by them, and a public one is with public, it's not stored by one person, but it's basically stored in Bitcoin, for example, on all of these computers, right? We all have a part of it, we are all part of it, and we can all see it. Now, what exactly you can see will differ from blockchain to blockchain, but it's basically the idea. And with XRP, it's kind of the same way. However, a private one could have a couple of advancements. One is you can have higher TPS because you're the one controlling it. And the verification, of course, works differently because it's just you, not everybody. So, the whole consensus algorithm or anything along those lines, it can all work in a lot of an easier fashion because you don't need it. And BTC, as you guys all know, was made purely because it's the first decentralized method to come up with a solution to the whole double spend problem, which is basically that you can spend the same money twice, which is the first thing that Bitcoin was good for. These banks and everybody has tried to come up with it for a very long while. That's fun story. Also why some people think that Bitcoin was made by some bankers, purely because banks had tried for so long and they never pulled through. But that also makes me think right now that they are now acknowledging that Ripple's XRP ledger does not have the capabilities to run CBDCs on there, or at least not in a successful way. which does make you kind of wonder now. Most blockchains are public ledgers, visible to all and updated by a broad network of validators. A central bank requires more transaction privacy and control over its currency than a public ledger can offer, so will most likely opt to create a CBDC on a private ledger that can also operate at the required scale. Yeah, two ways I'm seeing this. One is, well, they do not. Yeah. No, actually, I think there's only one way to see this. No, I'm thinking if there's two or one way. Let me just quickly tell you guys my thought process. After reading this, I'm thinking Ripple is either trying to capitalize as much as they can on the whole situation. So whatever the cost, basically, they just want to get those CBDCs within their network, with the end goal potentially being to get the CBDCs on their private ledger and then let them work with XRP for the cross-border payments, basically, right? Or to be the pair from CBDC 1 to CBDC 2. Maybe they just, regardless of whatever, want to get it on there. So they've decided to make a private ledger purely so they can get this CBDC connection and then build other things around it, which is another thing I kind of remind myself of now. A little bit ago, we saw Brett Garlinghouse state that the whole cross-border ordeal was just the first vertical, and also the fact that getting the initial contract with these newer clients, which are banks and financial institutions, is the hardest part. Getting them to adopt XRP is the easy part, which is the debate between the previous XCurrent and the then called XRapid, which is now ODL. That could be the wave. That could be what's happening here. They're just thinking of, how do we get these central bank digital currencies in a connection to us? If they already know that it's almost impossible for them to kind of get these guys on XRP's private ledger. And if you guys did not know, this here is a document from HSBC. And in this one, they've also before stated that Ripple was working on this type of stuff, right? And from Ripple's websites, you'll often find that Ripple has given out a lot of these, basically, are you going to call it books, booklets, whatever, informational pieces, that they are consultants basically for the CBDC space. It could be that they've known for a little while, with all the feedback they've received and all the talks they've gotten, that whatever was being built right now, whatever was being done wasn't the right way, and it needed some sort of update or something like that. You know, maybe they just knew from being in the space for such a while. And so they decided to make it on their own and then build the connections out. But again, I'm open to suggestions if you think differently. I'm just, again, kind of calling out what I think straight as we see it. Can I handle the most blockchains require? Yeah. Additionally, interoperability, the ability for a private ledger to connect with today's existing global financial infrastructure, as well as other CBDCs and other digital currencies, will be critical. In fact, in its 2021-2022 innovation program, the BIS identified interoperability for cross-border payments as a major priority for CBDCs. Then the CBDC private ledger. Okay, so now we're getting into the real stuff. I'm seeing a lot of comments here, but it's mostly people talking about Bitcoin versus Ethereum. Okay, there's too much discussion going on. I'll just read this through then. The CBDC private ledger is based on the same blockchain technology that powers the XRP ledger, which means that the CBDC private ledger is built for payments. Now, that again is where I think it's a bad thing, though. So, if they're doing it that way, it is based upon the same blockchain technology that powers the XRP ledger. Why are they making it this sound so dumb? They're like making it sound like, oh, because the private ledger is basically the same as the public ledger, but then a little bit better. They're making it sound like, oh yeah, this XRPL, it's it's not that important. It's about this newer one. I'm not sure why exactly they did it that way, but all right. This also means the CBDC private ledger is designed for issuing currencies. Let me quickly see here. This also means the CBDC private ledger is designed for issuing currencies, with over 5,400 currencies issued on the XRPL over the past 8 years, including its native digital asset XRP. Wait, what? This also means that the CBDC private ledger is designed for issuing currencies, with over 5,400 currencies issued on the XRPL over the past 8 years. Okay, I didn't even know that. 5,400 currencies issued on the XRP ledger over the past 8 years. 5,400? Really? I guess it's Ripple, so they most likely got their numbers straight, but damn, I'll be damned. I didn't know that. Did you guys know about that? I have no clue where they got the number from. But maybe you guys know. In the chat box, do you know exactly where they got the 5,400 currencies issued on the XRP ledger over the past 8 years from? I have no clue at all. Some of you guys said, hey, go on Twitter. David Swartz is answering messages. Let me see if he actually is. David Swartz. Let's go check it out. Let's see. The XRP... No, I'm not sure. I'll show you guys what I'm doing here. Okay, so he put up a tweet 2 hours ago saying the XBL has been running smoothly for 8+ years with billions of dollars at stake. The Cbdc private ledger ensures transaction privacy and security controls combined with reliability and payment proficiency of the XBL, the best of both worlds. I get that. Still not really profitable for us unless their end goal is to get, again, the customers on the network and then kind of connect with XRP as the bridge currency. Let's see if he's replying to stuff. No, he hasn't replied to anything for an hour. How do we know? How do we find out where the frick the 5,400 currencies comes from? I have no. Let me think. Where can we find this out? Okay, I'm gonna type in how many currencies issued on XRPL. I'm typing that in on Google. Okay, so we have xrpl.org. It says issued currencies overview. Okay, let's see this one. All currencies other than XRP can be represented in the XP ledger as something called IOUs, yet 5,400. So maybe it's just what they're counting is there was one guy, right, or maybe a couple of guys who came in and they were like, you know what, let's mess around. And what they did is just go and for any crypto that was possible, any token that was possible, they just made an IOU. I mean, I can understand if it's going to be 500 or so, that would be kind of normal in my opinion. But I didn't know 5,400, but I guess maybe just one guy was doing that because this number doesn't really represent anything in my opinion, unless I'm missing something. But I'm not exactly sure what else they could be talking about. Because otherwise, how does it get to 5,400? Maybe I should read this, then come back. No, I don't know. What else? What else could it be? Are we just only talking about the tokens used as IOUs? Which, by the way, you can also see in your wallet, if you didn't know. It's pretty funny. If you go to XRP Scan, for example, you can also see those IOUs. This also means that Cbdc private ledger is designed for issuing currencies with over 5,400 currencies issued on the XBL over the past 8 years, including... I like that. 5,400 currencies on the XBL. And this, by the way, is including the native digital asset. Thank you. I mean, if it were to be 5,401, I would have been completely. But thank you for quickly clarifying. This already included the native asset XRP. That was good. Which can be leveraged as a neutral bridge asset for frictionless value movement between CBDCs and other currencies. Aha! Aha! I think that's the keystone here. That's the key. That is the key. So, okay. We were skeptical at first, guys. They had us in the first half, not gonna lie, but they got us here. Which can be leveraged as a neutral bridge asset for frictionless value movement between CBDCs and other currencies. Yep. I'm staying with it, guys. I'm staying with it. So, I still believe the plan, and David Rodriguez says this is all talk. It is, right? I mean, this is their documents. We don't know. It's all a theory. It's all a proposal. We don't know what exactly is being built. So, what else can I say? But what I think, reading into this, is they are building this private ledger to get the CBDCs on, and then B, the bridge currency, at least XRP on the public XRPL, as the bridge, right? Okay, yeah. I'm still sticking with it. I still think that's a good line. I like that. Moving money on the Cbdc private ledger will be cost-effective, reliable, and close to instantaneous. Transactions can also happen at volumes required by central banks. The Cbdc private ledger will handle tens of thousands of transactions per second, initially with the potential to scale to hundreds of thousands of TPS over time. Transactions on the Cbdc private ledger are verified by the same consensus protocol used by the XRP ledger, which is far less energy intensive and therefore less expensive than and 61,000 times more efficient than public blockchains that leverage proof of work. I mean, who cares about proof of work as of this point, but all right. In addition to leveraging the XRP ledger technology, the Cbdc private ledger is also supported by RippleNet Technologies and the Interledger suite of protocols to enable ultra-high throughput use cases such as micropayments. One thing I guess we must say here is that I do think there will be a lot of confusing things soon. What I'm thinking, there could be a lot of confusing things soon in the sense that it could be that Ripple will announce these things as partnerships from Ripple, right? And we'll all be thinking like, oh, maybe XP is involved, yada, yada. But it's only going to be on the private ledger, basically, right? It's not going to be the public one. There might be some very confusing things for that one in the near future. I'm thinking like that, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. Let's quickly move on. In addition to leveraging the XRP ledger technology, the Cbdc private ledger is also supported by RippleNet Technologies. Okay, did we just read that one already? I think so. Whatever. RippleNet Technologies and the Interledger suite of protocols to enable ultra-high throughput use cases such as micropayments. We did. The Cbdc private ledger meets even the highest of security standards for central banks, with each having complete sovereignty and ability to customize based on their unique privacy and policy requirements. The core technology behind the new Cbdc private ledger has been running for more than 8 years without incident and with billions of dollars of value transacted every day. All right. And then time to define the future of money. Ripple has a proven track record of successfully connecting disparate payments systems, championing blockchain's utility to solve for global payments, and is trusted by hundreds of financial institutions around the world. Yeah. We are currently engaged with central banks around the world to better understand their goals and assess how the Cbdc private ledger can help achieve them, which once more I think is also being referred to by HSBC in this section. Distributed ledger technology. This is again a document from, I don't know when, a little while ago. Let's see. Can we see the date? No, we cannot. No, 12th of March 2019, so about 2 years ago right now. Oh, time has flown. DOT can streamline end-to-end value transfers, reducing costs, operational risks, and settlement periods. For example, Ripple's XRP ledger provides real-time cross-border settlements using tokens that represent central bank currencies. In foreign exchange, HSBC's FX Everywhere tool process, yada, yada, yada. Maybe that is also, and of course the one which is on their own website where they basically had this kit here, or the report, which everybody could download, mostly for the bigger companies though. Yeah, where they basically explained what they could do and what they're researching. And maybe they got some feedback whilst working with them at the start. Because we knew they've been working with Cbdc's, but we didn't really see any process, right? Until right here, I guess. Let's see. We believe this solution will overcome the major challenges around creating and managing a sovereign digital currency while amplifying the value and benefits for central banks, their partners, and above all, the millions of people who will use it. And we're just getting started. We are also working on a fresh approach where central banks will be able to join a network of Cbdc ledgers that enables full settlement interoperability while allowing each member to retain their monetary and technological independence. We believe this will be a game changer for central banks and are excited to release more details on how it works very soon. I'm wondering, guys, I really am wondering exactly how this is going to pull through. So the way I'm seeing it right now is this is basically a little bit of an ad for Cbdc's. And what they basically hinted here is they are building a very big solution for central banks so they can get on there, give the full solution, which will include XRP transfers in the midst of things. Cbdc will be coming on there, and they're going to hope to get a lot of Cbdc's within their network and set up some instant XRP transactions, and it kind of basically XRP as the middle. However, to let the Cbdc basically do its own job for the normal retail intra-country, so within a country, it's only for the outside matters that it's really going to use XRP. But even then, it's going to be seamless because it's basically in the deal which they have been giving to these companies, right, that are connecting them. At least that's the way I'm seeing it as of this point. I don't think there's any other way, that we can actually view it. What do you guys think? I think it's actually a really bullish thing, though. I think so, yeah. I think my conclusion is this is a bullish thing. By the way, I'm not a financial or a legal advisor, just so you guys quickly know that once more. And if you missed the beginning, man, it's really worth it to watch it back. We went over the lawsuit document. In the end of things, it's not necessarily bad, not necessarily good. It's just a motion to dismiss, and we'll see whether or not it is accepted or not. It was just 3.5 pages, though, which is why we quickly read it. And our kind of verdict is the first part, which is basically point 1, is pretty nice, as it basically does show the SEC has no real grounds to kind of say that Brett Garlinghouse is doing something wrong. The second part, which is basically that all of this falls out of the US SEC's jurisdiction, is in our opinion kind of 50-50, purely because there's definitely a couple of points which you can debate on that one. Talking about this newer document specifically, the one that Ripple just posted a couple hours ago about the private ledger, our conclusion is going to be that the private ledger is a negative thing from the bat. However, if it is done with the goal to actually connect this private ledger with the public ledger and to actually make it so that the CbdCs on the private ledger will still use the bridge asset XRP over the public ledger, I think it's a good thing. I don't see it's really bad in any way, shape, or form. And that's following their story, really what their thing is. However, I believe it's going to be done through a suite of services, not just one, where it's basically like Ripple works with the full experience, where they give their clients the full-on experience, basically providing everything from Cbdc to instant settlement to everything. And yeah, I think it's a pretty nice thing. At least from the perspective of exposure to Ripple is really amazing already. You might say this is huge, you might say this is insane. We can definitely debate it on a couple of points. I might talk about this a little bit more tomorrow though, as I might want to get a little bit deeper into the sides of this. There is a video coming up a little bit later about something else. I don't even know what it is about anymore, because I just recorded it before starting the live stream. So if you're done with this video, by the way, just keep refreshing the channel soon, because I'm going to post that video like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes after I'm done streaming. So you guys quickly know that. And is it going to be good or bad? Well, it is really a nice thing if you're talking about, basically exposure for Ripple or XRP potential use case. This could be a groundbreaking thing. It could literally be, in my opinion, that they're making this so the CBDCs hop on so they can sell them the XRP solution, right? Or at least make them use the XRP solution. That's the way I'm seeing it as of this point. Okay, Rosa says, Dusty, question. If Brett Garlinghouse is in the green, is it more likely that Chris and Ripple will also be let off? Well, for Ripple, this says almost nothing. For Chris Larson, most likely quite so, as they're a little bit in the same story. However, the one with Chris Larson is a little bit more difficult, as he has been with Ripple from the start, right? He's been with there. He's made Ripple. He's a co-founder of it, and he's also made XRP. He's also co-founder of that one. So his lawsuit, from a certain degree, should actually be a little bit more severe. And, I mean, you could actually say if Brett Garlinghouse is let off the hook, then the lawsuit for Ripple is a little bit easier because, well, a basis of it is if you can prosecute the chiefs behind it, basically, getting to the company is easier. So if the chiefs are let off the hook, then getting behind the company is a little bit more difficult. So, yeah, that's my thoughts about it. Yeah, but like Robin says, it was such a brilliant plan. I'm not sure exactly how you mean it, but if Ripple really has the plan which I just described, it's a freaking genius idea. I'm not going to lie. It is ridiculously smart. And I'm actually thinking that's going to be really, really amazing for the future as well. Of XRP, that is. I think it's going to be really amazing then. If that's the way that it was designed, if that's what they're going to go for, if that's what they're doing. Yeah, that's my thoughts about the situation. But yeah, if you guys disagree, like always, you can just let me know in the comment section. We'll take a look at it. We'll discuss it. We'll see. But this is the facts which we have right now. This is all we can work with. We need some other info. We need something else. We need anything, basically. What else can we say, guys? Well, with what we've been provided, this is bullish, yes. Well, yeah. I'm almost stuttering right now. I'm pretty excited about it, though, honestly. Because I'm kind of thinking that this has all been their plan all along. And I'm also sometimes thinking that the whole lawsuit here is also just to kind of put us on the wrong path. Could be to get their friends to buy cheaper. It could be because it's all been planned all along with the whole newer financial system. Because at first, the whole decentralized nature, it's not something that banks really like, right? It's not something they really like to hear or talk about. But now that they're also launching something privately, even though this is not true to the crypto sense, it is definitely not true to it. It could be because they know if you make it public, they're not going to come on there, and there's going to be some other company who is doing it in a private way, which they're going to adopt in. So it'd rather be us, even though it's not true to the crypto core, and we'll just figure something out for our public XRP then. Yeah, the more I'm reading into, the more I'm thinking about it, it's definitely a good thing. Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. The only negative side, I guess. I'm just also thinking here whilst I guess talking. The only negative thing I guess you can fetch is that it's not true to the crypto core. But no, XRP holders are not screwed. XRP holders are not nothing. Robert Orth says, please stop your goofy vocal start on your videos. What do you mean, bro? Hey guys, what is up? You mean that one? Maybe you mean the catchphrase. I'm not sure. 10K to 50K, take a screenshot and watch. Is that your XRP price prediction? And FOB Ent, it's not pre-recorded. It's live right now. What is your guys' price prediction for XRP? Let's do it a little bit differently, right? Let's put here. Let's go for, what is your price prediction for the next, how many years should we go for? Right now it's 2021. Let's go for 4 years. March 2025. What is your price prediction? Robin says, never change a running system. Do the bull impression. I actually did it in the first take, you know that? So I pretty often, I actually delete the video if I'm not happy with the start or things like that. But in that case, I pressed the video of his on. I was listening to it. I'm like, I can do this, I think. So I'm not sure again how it goes anymore. So I'd have to watch it then to be able to do it. But yeah, I thought, the first time I recorded it, I was like, hey, this sounds pretty nice. And I just went on with the flow and recorded the rest. Okay, so there's a very big difference between the prices. Okay, I guess it goes from about 50 cents to a couple $1,000s. Okay, damn. Addicted to blue cheese. Yeah, I get that. I don't know. You are the expert. I'm not the expert. How would I be the expert? I don't know. Fibonacci goes all the way to $100+. Okay, that makes no sense what you're saying, but all right. The Bearable Bull reminds me of comic Stephen Wright for some reason. Well, it's a style. You gotta like it, or at least you gotta. It's something different. At least it's something interesting. Joseph says, hello, I listen and watched every video. Well, that's I appreciate it, man. Thank you for stopping by for the live stream then. That's pretty cool. What do you predict? So my prediction, of course, is not really going to be a post here, I guess, because, you guys can always just check back and, you'll see how wrong I am, because I believe that you cannot predict the price like that. It was kind of a trick question, right? I baited you all, because I believe if you're posting a price prediction right now, you're already kind of having something in your head which is wrong, which is that you're anticipating a certain system of events which will lead to that price. I personally think we have no freaking clue what's going to bring us where, because literally, in this document, we said it just now, Ripple themselves and Brett Garlinghouse have stated that Ripple does not control prices in terms of news, and anything that Ripple does not actually change the price. If that is the case, then I even put off my headset now. Then everything that's just happened all these years, it is all because Bitcoin has moved. That really has broken my head, actually, now I'm thinking about it. So that means that whatever Ripple is doing right now, nobody cares about that in terms of price. Wait, I actually forgot that they posted it right there. I'm trying to see where exactly it was. Here it was. No. It was about price. But that is actually also really interesting. Because that would mean that all we can do if we're having a price prediction is just basically think of where will Bitcoin be, which again will not be because of news to some degree. We should also then take into our minds what would the regulations look like. Like, will we get some crazy guy somewhere within the SEC who's like, you know what, let's screw all these cryptos up? Will we get some crazy other parties going to try regulate it even further? We don't really know, right? So, yeah, I'm not sure if you can put a price prediction that far into the future. And I also am still not sure if news actually does something to the price longer term. I would say use case and utility should build the price, right? But are they already doing that? That is something I'm not sure of. And James M, thank you for the $5. He says, thank you for the great content. Thank you for watching, is all I can say, man. Thank you for watching a ton. I appreciate everybody sticking by or coming by the way. It's always amazing to see that there's 400 people watching. It's mind-boggling to me. I don't understand why you're watching this. But, I mean, it's very amazing. And don't get me wrong. It's very cool. Endier says, could the private ledger go to the moon and leave us all here just holding? Well, a private ledger is nothing more, as I've said before, than just think about it like a bank. If a bank, basically, were to store their information, they do it in their own system of computers, right? So a private ledger in this case just means we as individuals, or we with our anything, it cannot interfere with their system. It's basically private, so they can hide and show whatever they want to. Minimal says, you've come a long way, bro. Been here since the start. All right. Since when? When did you join the channel? When did you guys actually come by for the first time? What's your favorite food? I actually have no clue what my favorite food is. Or maybe I do know and I don't want to tell you. That could also be. Kim Crypto Novice says, we are watching because you give great content and are down to earth. Thank you a lot. Gary Gensler from Men in Black, so low future. XP will be number 1. Well, I mean, you could hope for it. You don't know for sure, because who freaking knows? Heidi says, think about if XRP is 10,000, I guess you don't have to exchange it back to Ponzi fiat. You buy whatever you want in XRP, I guess. I would say if XRP really goes to $10,000, that is definitely a possibility then, I would definitely say. David says, I think we've already been left behind. Debatably. I would say no. But that's, again, my thought to yours. Mark says, I'll wait for Eddie Hogan's take on the motion to dismiss. If I were you, and I am me now, so I would say, both of us, we should definitely wait for that one, because I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not sure about all this stuff. It's only our verdict with logical reasoning, but that's basically that. Antonio says, do you think Flare Networks has made to steal our XRP? What? No, I do not think so. You know that Ripple has actually put money into Flare? Like, I don't know how much, but millions of dollars. So, no, I do not think so. It would be a little bit strange. That would be odd. They made Flare to steal our XRP, huh? I don't know how that would work, but you'll link me a video. Man, regardless of what you're gonna send me here, I don't see any way, shape, or form that it could have been made to steal our XRP. That doesn't make any sense at all. No, you don't have to send it. Just, I guess, listen to the words here. It's not financial advice, but if that, no, man. I mean, it's just I don't see any way in which it would be possible, honestly, where Flare could have been to steal your money. I'm not from the U.S., not from Canada, not from an English-speaking country. Somebody says just here from BC. I think that is British Columbia in Canada, because a couple of people have asked that before. But no, I am not from any English-speaking country. Do research. The change is started because let's see. Dusty may be a troll, maybe. I'm not sure. I'll just let it be, indeed. Ben Lodovac says, do you need to do something in order to get FLR if you had XP on Kraken, Binance during the snapshot? You can just check it. All right, I don't know for Kraken, but I believe Binance actually is going to give it like that, yes. Okay, I don't see any other. Do you guys have any questions? Anything else? I'm just quickly checking here because I don't live stream that often. I'm like, maybe I should just capitalize on this right now to ask if you guys have any questions, because if it's in the comment section, you know the amount of scams and spam there, just people just trying to get money from others, it is very annoying. So even though I read almost every single comment, I can't reply to all of that stuff. So here I can, at least I can try to. Dusty, you have to be from somewhere where the Wi-Fi is good, lol. In almost every country, your Wi-Fi can be good. You just have to go to, I guess, to some place in the country or get a more expensive plan. Geen vragen meer? Alright, bet. XRP has to accommodate 7.5 billion people, and it can't do it at the current price. Well, if you believe XRP is going to be the only one thing in the future, then maybe. Then, well, yeah, I mean, well, could it? Well, it could provide with any amount of price. It could always work, but the higher the price, the easier, theoretically speaking. Cotton Bull says, Dusty, have you noticed the wick-off accumulation pattern in today's XRP chart? No, I have not. Dusty, do you hold XDC? Yes, I hold a teeny weeny bit. Not too much, though. It's just because you guys told me to buy it. I was like, man, screw it. So I went up and picked some, but I'm not too familiar with the whole XDC process, so I'm not sure about it. Dusty, live stream more often. I might actually do that. I might actually make it like a bi-weekly thing. You know, so I'll do it either once a week or once every 2 weeks. But maybe I'll even do it twice a week if the what's it called? If the demand is there, basically. I'll just see. All right. Again, I don't see any real other questions in there. Price prediction end 2021. I'm not sure. I just told you. Price predictions, not my thoughts. Ideas on Chainlink. I really think Chainlink is a really good crypto as of this point. Are they getting some competition? Yeah. Oh yeah. But are they really at the top of everything? Still, as of this point, I would say yes. What is RX27? I'm not sure what that is. I think it's a scam then. What is your estimate for Polkadot? I'm holding Polkadot like a madman. You guys saw me buy it. Our money has gone times 5. So I'm really happy with that. But I don't have an end goal, basically. And to kind of end it off, I guess, is the crypto bull market over? You guys understand, right? I get this question so often of people asking me, Dusty, is the crypto market over? Are you selling all your coins? Are you out? Because crypto prices sometimes are a little bit down. Right now, this is what it's looking like, right? And people are like, oh, Dusty, is it over right now? Was this the peak? Are we going to go back to all-time high? And I keep telling people, I'm just buying the dip. I'm just buying every single chance I get. So Ethereum, I'm not sure exactly where it went to. I think it went to like $1,300 at the downfall here. If you didn't buy back then what do you... What? Why not? I don't really get people sometimes. Like, in the midst here, in like 3 days, you could have made yourself such a ton of profit. I don't get people sometimes. Like, why worry about that type of stuff? Neo says, Dusty, can we see your portfolio? No, you cannot. I often share what coins I have, but I am thinking about maybe making it in a certain group somewhere, just announcing a little bit more of what I have exactly. But the majority of my coins I have told about in my videos before here. I've just mentioned most of the ones I have, and those are the ones I cover the most as well. By the way, I don't cover them in proportion of which coins I hold the most of. I cover the most. That's not how I go about it. And, if you're thinking the bull market is over, well, maybe we just should agree to disagree. That could be a thing. Or maybe reconsider your thoughts as to, like, why are you thinking that? Do I have an exit strategy? Oh, yes, right? Oh, yes. And Crypto Novice Kim says, thank you for your live feed. Sorry I missed so much of it. No worries. Maybe next time, right? I also didn't have the notification today, so it was also my bad. This was like a random live stream just because I saw we had some breaking news. So I thought, you know what? Normally, I wanted to do the live stream an hour later so everybody would get the notification. But I was like, man, I need to do it now because otherwise the news is a little bit old, right? And we just saw Brad Garlinghouse tweet this 7 minutes ago. So I was like, let me start the stream right now and get to it then. And, it was pretty fresh. It was pretty cool. Let me see if we had anything else here in the meantime from Brad Garlinghouse pop up. I do not believe so, though. And let me quickly see if there's also nothing from our other guy, David Swartz. Let's go to bookmarks. Let's go here. Let's see. He has not posted anything either, I believe. No. So 2 hours ago is the last time he tweeted anything else as well. He did tweet a little bit more, actually, about the whole private ledger ordeal. But let's keep it as this for now, because I better just research that and then give you guys a better rundown of everything. As at this point, I'm not too sure exactly what it is about. Hey, our little beautiful man, right? Look at him. This is core. These are some muscles. That's a man I look up to. That's funny though. I look up to this man like crazy. You guys didn't even know that. This man is an idol to so many people. I wonder if he knows, right? How many people look up to this guy just for what he's built and what his capabilities are. Yeah, I'm gonna like that one. So guys, thank you all for watching this video or live stream, whatever. Pretty cool. See you guys again in another one. pretty soon, hopefully. I'm going to try to do it maybe like twice a week. Maybe once a week. At least once a week. I'll stick to it, guys. I'm very grateful for you guys all coming by. I thank you all for pressing the like button. I always appreciate it a ton. And all I can say is I'll see you guys again in another one, right? If you're watching and you enjoyed it, again, make sure you press the like button just to help with the YouTube algorithm. I think it helps. So why not? Right? Why not? And I'll see you guys again in another one, all right? I'm just waiting for the likes to go over 250. Right now we have 249, I mean. I'm just waiting for that. Ben, I'm not, if you think I'm going to sleep, you're in the wrong, all right? We have a lot of news to cover still. I have to check a couple of things still. I'm not going any freaking where. But the live stream I think is good for right now. And we're still at 249 likes. Maybe I have to refresh. Or maybe nobody pressed the like button. Or whatever. I thought maybe we could hit 300. We cannot. Thank you guys all for watching, though. Thank you all. All right, so, yes, again, thank you. And I have to check how to freaking end the live stream again. I forgot. Damn. I don't know how you do it. Okay. There we go.